Oh, hello, Cage Side London. I'm back once again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about, this past weekend's UFC 308 pay-per-view, which happened on the weekend. Um, I mean, for me personally, it was a good pay-per-view, especially as a UK fan, coming from, as soon as living in the UK, and we had that earlier start time of the 7 p.m. It really does help out myself, in terms of watching the pay-per-view. Earlier start times are always good, in my personal opinion. The only thing is that this was actually the pay-per-view in the UK as well. So if you're a UK fan, you was watching it, and if you're fortunate enough to be able to get the pay-per-view, it would have cost you £20. I mean, that is not a lot considering the US fans are charged $80, right? So, but I mean, it's just to be mindful. I mean, but without a doubt, though, decent pay-per-view. I mean, heavily touted with some Russian fighters. We have got Putin Magomedov against Petrus and Notorious, and I mean, he just put on a clinic. He nasty KO in the second round, 4 minute 52 in the second round, and he just got the job done phenomenally. He did have a bit of a bit of a tear up and a bit of some eye problems, which we noticed after the fight. But nonetheless, he's making big movements. 15 and 0 in the UFC, capping it off. I mean, just more and more to come from him to be expected for sure. And soon to be title contention. I wouldn't be surprised. And then we got Leron Murphy versus Dan Ige. Now, this for me was actually a very clinical fight. This was actually one of the more entertaining fights of the evening. I think I'd say I'll put it up there right up there with the main event in terms of how much I enjoyed it personally, because I mean just the clinic that Leron put on Dan Ige as well. They're both good in their own rights. Maybe 15 and 0. Leron is coming from the UK, and it was a good technical fight. If you're a hardcore follower like me, and you're into your UFC, you're into your MMA, you really can appreciate the groundwork and skills. And I'm pretty sure even if you're a casual, just a back and forth in this fight was just phenomenal. It was entertaining, nice to see, and respect to both men. But Leron put on, he definitely got that first round. I think it might have been no, it might have been the first round. I can't remember off the top, but he definitely got that third round. It was just so back and forth. It could have gone either way. I mean, Leron definitely got the better of it from 2 rounds out of the three. But no disrespect to Dan Ige. He held his own, he held his ground, and definitely good matchmaking there by the UFC for that. But yeah, we'll soon see where Leron goes, mate. He's doing good. It was a decision, but it was entertaining nonetheless, and against someone like of Danny Gates' caliber for sure. And then we move on to the third fight. We got Magomed Ankalaev against Alexander Rakic. Now, these Dagestanis, right? They just, what they do. You know what the Russian fighters do. Just put on clinics all the time. Rinse and repeat. Khabib-esque, should I say? And like no different here. Round three decision. It is what it is. We move on. Robert Whittaker versus Hamzat Chimaev. Now, Chimaev battling with his illnesses as of late. I mean, as it was reported a few months ago, he was hospitalized and he wasn't doing too good. So this is his first fight back since then. And he, better than ever, round one, 3 minutes 33 in the first round, devastating rear naked choke to Robert Whittaker. That mad that he actually broke his teeth, his front teeth, like pushed it back. The amount of strength that Chimaev must have had when he looked that on, he must have crushed his teeth, literally crushed his teeth. And I mean, he's one of a kind, man, when it comes to that, because Robert Whittaker's a tough guy, but he looked that on, and straight away Robert Whittaker tapped. Like, that is not Robert Whittaker right there. That is not standard. He's not a weak fighter. He's a tough guy. And to do that to him is a statement in itself. And the division needs to watch out badly, like they really do. because Chimaev is just something else, something else. We came into the main event of the evening. We got Ilya Topuria versus Max Holloway, BMF champion Max Holloway. And this was actually a really, really good fight. I mean, once again, I know I've said a lot about the main card fights being good, but this was good for sure. There was a lot of trash talking before the fight. When it got down to business, they both held their ground. Max Holloway was good with the jabs. Ilya Taporia was hating on Max Holloway prior to this. He was saying, he ain't got the technique. He's going to wipe the floor with him, and that's obviously just to hype up the fight for sure. And it went to the third round, and they both held their own again. I mean, it wasn't going to be a walk in the park for Ilya Taporia, but he was the first man to knock out Max Holloway, which is a statement in itself. Yeah, fair enough, Max Holloway hasn't got a clean record, 26-8, but my God, is he tough? He's not. As I just said, first guy to knock out Max Holloway. That is a statement, and cannot wait to see what more Topuria brings. He's the new breed of the sport, making waves, and he respects the fighters. After the fight, he praised Max Holloway, gives a huge credit to him. I know he has to hype up the fight, and he's not a dull person. He's actually quite energetic. He'll hype up the fights, but that when all is said and done, and you've got two warriors in there just going at it, he respects that guy. And he is respectful to them afterwards, and just sends their like gives them the flowers. Max Holloway is a legend, is a Hall of Famer, and the way that he's gracious in victory is something to behold. And it's nice to see, that we don't get these Conor McGregor. Yeah, it's good. It's good for the promotion of the sport, and these big energetic guys that would just trash talk. But to have the respect for the guys, that that whether they win or they lose, they're gonna, you show them respect and just be humble. That's a new breath of fresh air for me. I do like to see that, and I only hope we continue to see that. And if anything, is a downfall for people like Conor McGregor, because he talks a lot, but sometimes can't back it up, and it just gets a bit too overbearing. I'm a bit of a personally, I'm a sucker for someone who can, give credit to those and also back it up with the skills. Um, but also hype up the fight at the same time. So, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I don't think the UFC's got an issue here. Uh, a lot of crowd was with Topuria on this fight, but also rooting for Max Holloway as well at the same time, obviously because of who he is. And it was a far, far entertaining fight to say the least. But Ilya Topuria being the first person to knock out Max Holloway is just statements, a big, big statement. And for that to happen just says how much Poirier is just going to dominate in the division. And I don't think it's going to, you know, I don't think it's going to be a quick turnaround for a champion. They teased the Alexandra Volkanovski rematch afterwards with Volkanovski coming into the cage, and that looks like what it's going to be. So Topuria versus Volk 2. I'm down for that, That's entertaining. I would want to see it again. I don't mind seeing it again, but I feel like Topuria is going to beat him again. I feel like Topuria is just a new breed, new crop, and ever evolving. Is what we see in the sport. Once upon a time, John Jones was the go, or John Jones was the go-to guy. But now we're seeing Topuria, and we're seeing these new breed up and coming, new skills, just better execution, all rounders, and hence why we're seeing these 16-0 records. These guys are beasts, and I mean absolutely ruthless. So yeah, I mean overall UFC 308 decent card, liked it, and I say bring on 309. So which is Steve Miocic versus John Jones in Madison Square Garden. Sadly, 3 a.m. start time for us in the UK, but nonetheless, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching it for certain. And you can join me as well because we will be having a live stream, watch along, and you can get involved and we can have a discussion as the main card fights are going on. So do feel free to subscribe and like and comment, and we will have that party, baby. We will have that party come November 16th. And with a little bit of luck, we will see Tom Aspinall enter into the picture as well to take over Miocic's position. But we'll soon see. We'll soon see. Until next time, guys. Stateside London, sign out. Peace.